Hello, today we are talking about how to use a polling tool called Poll Everywhere. Poll Everywhere is a really easy way to run polls and ask questions within your classroom to get instant results. This is a website you're going to start at. It's called polleverywhere.com. You can sign up for an account. What that will essentially do is allow you to save your results indefinitely for all the polls that you run. If you choose not to sign up for an account, you can still create a poll and that feedback will be saved for 2 weeks. If you only need it for 2 weeks, don't waste your time signing up. If you do want it for longer than that, go ahead and make an account. I'm just going to go straight to create your first poll without logging in. As soon as you click create your first poll, it's going to take you immediately to where you're going to write your poll question. I'm just going to use the example that they provided, which is, what is your favorite color? Now you could do this in many ways. You could do it as a formative assessment to see if your students are understanding content. You could do it as an actual poll to ask your kids an opinion about something. Or you could do it as a nice little fun question like this. There's really endless ways that you can use Poll Everywhere. Your students can respond in 2 ways. They can respond with an open-ended answer, where they would actually write out that, what is their favorite color. Or you could do a multiple choice and give them options. That's what I'm going to do for this one. I'll also go back and show you what open-ended looks like in a little bit. So, we can do blue, red, orange. You can add an unlimited number of responses. I'm just going to leave it at this for an example's sake. And then go ahead and hit create. Now here's what my screen is going to look like. As a student, or excuse me, as a teacher, there's 2 ways that you can have students respond. You can have students respond by entering this number, which corresponds to an answer. I'll show you that in a minute. You can also flip it to a private link. What a private link will do is then I would send this link to my students, like posting it on my website or having them type it in. I personally think it's easier just to have them respond with the code. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like for a student as they're responding with the code. I'm going to pull up my iPad as though I were a student. So give me one moment to do that. All right, so here's my iPad as if I were a student. What I'm going to do is open up the internet, and the website that I visit, I'm actually already there, but I'll type it in again so you can see it, is pollev.com. Not Poll Everywhere like we went to create the poll, but just pollev.com. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring up a place where I could enter the code. So if this is what's up on the screen, and this is what I see as a student, if my favorite color is blue, for example, I am going to input the code for blue, which is 412673. I am going to click Submit Response as a student, and it's going to tell me that they received my response. Now let's go back here and we'll see that I had 1 total response, and that response was 100% for blue. As more and more devices input, these numbers would change and I would see a percentage as well as a live bar graph. So again, really, really easy way to submit answers and to get instant feedback. In the free version of PollEv, you get 40 responses, so hopefully that's enough for your class. You may need to use a couple of devices twice in order to get everybody there. Once I'm done, I can stop that poll. And then there's a few different things I can do. I can email the results to myself. I can just save the link and go back to it later. But remember, unless I actually log in, I can only go back to see the results for 2 weeks. I could even download the results as a slide and put them into a PowerPoint if I wanted to. All right, just really quickly, let's go ahead and take a look at what you would see if you decided to do an open-ended question. So let's ask the question, why do you like that color? We could do open-ended again and go ahead and create. So now as a student, instead of Instead of entering just the code, as a student, I need to submit this number and my message. So let's go back to the iPad. The number I need to enter is 413-887 space, and then I can type my answer, and I might say something like, I chose blue because it's the color of the ocean. All right, I can submit that response. And now, instead of having a live poll show up, I would have the actual response show up in a little bubble. And as more and more people responded, we would see all of the results. So that's Poll Everywhere. It's an incredibly quick way to get poll results from your students or short answers from your students digitally. You can save the results for 2 weeks. If you log in, you can save them for as long as you would like. And it's a nice way to get formative responses or opinions from the kids in your classroom. Thanks a lot.